Time for the next part of my story. Hollywood. This is where 2011 comes around. I just had my birthday, August 2nd. My birthday was yesterday, by the way. So I get on Facebook, believe in like September, and I see a post from an old friend that used to go to middle school with me. This is eighth grade. Uh, so now, what, 5, 6 years later, I'm almost 21. I'm 20. Or might have been 21 then. 2011 minus 14. Yeah, I just turned 21. Something like that. She was looking for a Russian translator to cover a production company coming from Russia that needed help with Russian communication and getting around town driving. It was a commercial company doing a 3 day shoot, 3 different locations. Santa Monica was one, Nevada Desert, where they have those fast cars. That was another one. And I don't remember the third one. Uh, really cool gig. And she was looking for somebody to cover the Russian translating part because she had a wedding. One of her best friends was getting married in Sacramento. She's in Los Angeles as a production crew assistant. I'm not sure exactly what was her title. And she, again, needed somebody to cover. Posted this post on Facebook. I replied that, yeah, that sounds really cool. Awesome. I don't I don't open the message till like 4 days later. I think I replied on like a Wednesday. She messaged me back next day, Thursday, saying, "Can you be in LA for an interview on Friday evening, 6 o'clock?" That's when the production company closes. I opened up the email Friday morning, seeing that she wanted me for this interview in LA today. I reply, "I'll be there." This is like 10 o'clock a.m. LA is 6.5, 7 hours away from me. I have nothing packed. I throw stuff in a bag, take off to LA. As I'm driving to LA for this interview at 6 o'clock, she calls me saying there's a Russian music artist from Russia that is shooting a music video Saturday, this next day, at 9 a.m. Could you please cover for this? Could you please do this free gig? That was the cool part. She made sure that I knew it was going to be a free gig, but I was going to meet people in the same field. It would have been a great business connection. So I tell her yes. I'm driving to LA. I get to the meeting at 6 o'clock, the appointment that Friday, that I'm supposed to see if I can even get this 3 day commercial gig job. I do the interview. My auntie, her cousin, with her best friend and her best friend's son, are shacked up in a 1 bedroom apartment, La Rosita, right off the busiest street. And I pull up on them that evening after the interview. My bed for the next 9 months in LA was literally sleeping as you open up the door. Not in a bad way. It's just we make sacrifices to try to push through and get somewhere, right? So this bed that is basically blankets is literally right when you open up the door, go to go into the living room. The kitchen's to your right. There's one bed in the back that the two girls would sleep in. The boy would sleep on a pull-out bed or a couch. I don't remember. He has a computer. He's a computer's genius. And then I'm right here, right when you walk into the door, with my duffel bag, few clothes, spot to crash. The struggle is real, and there was so much energy going on. I didn't want to have too much rest. I'm like, I want to get out there, make that money. So with all this going on, I wake up at 9 a.m. We'll wake up at like 7 a.m. Everywhere you go in LA, it's like a 2 hour trip. Or you know that with traffic and everything, 2 to 3 hours easy. So I wake up at like 6:30 just to make sure I get to this music video gig. Dima Bilan, he's a Russian pop singer from I believe he was either Moscow or St. Petersburg. I don't remember exactly. This is 2011. So this is, geez, 14 years ago. Unbelievable. It was fun because I didn't know who he was as a musician. I didn't follow too much Russian music. And it was awesome rubbing shoulders, lighting up Dimka's cigars or cigarettes, getting him his McDonald's. That was his favorite. Just being a psychic. I was a production assistant, and then after I helped with the production assisting, being the Russian translator, he didn't speak English. Then I did the production cleanup, and that was the other cool part about this free gig that I did in LA. First one for free, 9 a.m. I show up. I don't leave set till 4 in the morning. So this is 9, 9, 12, 12. Another was 7. It was 18-hour gig. 18, 17-hour gig. It was unbelievable. They call me, right? I don't get paid for this. I get a call the next day after I'm finished with Saturday. I'm finished with Sunday. They call my first interview calls me on Monday, the 3-day Russian commercial from Russia that's coming over to shoot this big commercial for their country, Tele2. They have it's like AT&T in America, but they're doing it in Russia, their own company. So I get a call on Monday from Big Monkey Production Company. I don't know if they're still around. Los Angeles. The production company wants me to work. I get the gig. I get a call from the first little for the free production 18-hour gig, building up some connections that I did. I'm gonna get to that. Terry Smith is one of them. He's the one that pushed me through. He's the one that met me on set and said, "Hey, you need to do extra background acting." I'm like, "What's extra background acting?" Well, they were on set for this music video for this Russian pop singer from Russia. They're Americans. They have an attire. They're supposed to be dressed, and they're going to be just part of the music video in the back. They're having like a little club scene. That's an extra background. So before I get too deep into that, I get a call from Dima Bilan, the music video that I was at, that I finished and finally did. They gave me $240 for that day. I thought it was a blessing. I thought it was cool, money in the pocket. I do the 3-day commercial shoot that week. They gave me $750 for the 3 days. That was another. What's up with it? Hi, Snowy. Man, LA gets busy. Sorry, I'm not following you guys' chat. So check this out. I'm writing my story, and this is the LA part, which gets really cool and fast because in LA, if you don't keep up, at least with even traffic, you're gonna get a flat tire. You're gonna get stuck on a gas station. So LA, I do this 1 week of different jobs. I get $1,000 cash. Terry Smith, one of the extra background actors in Los Angeles, the first music video that I did for free, the production company for the Russian pop singer, 18-hour gig, he referred me to a few Central Casting, Burbank. It's the main one. You sign up in the registry, and it's a database of everybody that wants to work there. If let's say you're out of business for a year or two, you go back, you reactivate it, you do some photo shoot, show them your attires, different looks, you're back in the database. This database is connected to a call center. You as an actor, if you're ready to work that day or the next day, you call this call center and you book a show that they report automatically. It's not somebody's going to talk to you automatically what they're looking for. They're going to tell you the age group. They're going to tell you what they're looking for you to get dressed in, and see if you have even the attire, the looks, and the time to even do this gig. And each gig is always going to be different. It could be anything from a commercial set to a movie that's brand new to a movie that's Spielberg to CSI Miami reality shows, How I Met Your Mother, music videos, sky's the limit, anything they shoot, anybody from a production company can come to this database and have work them with you. And they'll hire basically everybody that you want, looking the way you want. So Burbank, Central Casting, I sign up, and that's where my life changes in a way. I see Hollywood. I see the stages. I see the way this entertainment is created, and it's so beautiful. It takes so much to have in a production to make all the ends meet. That is the coolest, passionate part that I fell in love with Los Angeles. Was you had to have all the crews, you have to have the cameraman, you gotta have the grip lighting, you gotta have the one serving you coffee, you gotta have the ones in the background sitting there at a table pretending they're eating. It was that kind of little things. It was cool. I mean, when I say easy work, it was fun, good, hard work, getting around, making ends meet, trying to make these calls, trying to book these jobs. The toughest parts. Then you get on set and it's open, open food tables, buffets. If you're on set working for that day for that production company, Universal Studios, they got their own cafe, really good food. The production assistant trucks, fully loaded with all kind of snacks. So the food's amazing. You book an 8-hour gig, no matter what. This is 2011 going into 2012. So back then the payroll was $9, I believe, and 50 cents, or just $9. That's funny. I'm talking about this because it's 2011 right now. 2025, 14 years later, payroll's doubled. So I'm in LA, very expensive city. Living shacked up with three other people where they can barely afford to even live there. And I'm in this fast moving, active, biggest city production company, I think, out here in America. LA is pretty powerful with entertainment. Universal Studios was amazing. So back to LA, working these sets, the 8-hour gig that you're set to get paid for. This is the coolest part that I loved about LA. They take care of you so much especially when you go overtime. Like they'll pay you double, triple overtime for whatever every like hour past 8 o'clock. That was the cool part. Uh, if you only show up for like an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. I've been on set where it was, oh, 1 hour, you're done. What happened just now? I came to work, or at least stick around, and I just got paid $9 times 8 hours. So I got my $70 check minus taxes, whatever, 65, and that was good to go. What's up with it? Um, so back to the pay rate. The other cool part, SAG and AFTRA, Hollywood's union work, which is the other coolest part about Hollywood. Like construction has a union, the railroad tracks have their own union, Hollywood has their own union, right? So with Hollywood, with all the house crisis and economy really churning at that point of time, 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. House crisis came first. People are losing their work. Hollywood's going out of business. They had two big major unions, SAG-AFTRA, SAG and AFTRA. You follow? You with me? SAG, I think, is the older one and a little tougher to get in. You need 3 vouchers. A voucher is you're getting a face shot. You're in a main screen. It's not just, hey, you're in the restaurant scene, you're getting pictured with everybody. No, you're like, you're almost the main character. You could be an extra background not saying anything at a restaurant, but they've got to freeze the camera on you. You got to get a face shot. That's a voucher. Automatically, I think a couple seconds or something. I mean, you got to have a shot. I don't know what that means. You get your voucher. For the most part, you're in a commercial. You're main character, sub character, minute two, whatever. You're getting your voucher. Now, SAG and Union work with two different. They're two different production company unions that work with different people, and that was the tricky part. You're trying to book something. You listening? What's up, Tate? You're trying to book a gig in LA, doing extra background acting, and then you're booking for after you needed one voucher and you could be union. For SAG, you needed three vouchers and you could be union. Now, union to even get these vouchers and even afford them, it costs $25 to $3,000 per union. This is right when I'm trying to get into extra background acting, Los Angeles, central casting, from 2011 going into 2012. 2012 is when SAG and AFTRA finally came together and started working together. Literally, I booked finally a face shot gig for AFTRA. Now, no matter what union you book a voucher for, because they joined, I can automatically now become a union for the SAG AFTRA new program that costs $2,500 to join in. What does that mean? So now instead of a $70 8-hour day at $9 an hour, this is back in the day. Now it's like $1,000 a day. Back then I would have gotten $350. It's like triple the pay. You're now on a professional union level. That's why it costs $2,500 every year to even join this program. So the cool part was I was sitting at restaurants, extra background acting with a lady. She's in her 55s, right? Like 50. This is 2011. And we're just pretending to eat. It was Vampire Diary scenes, big restaurant scenes. They were shooting some kind of cool bar scene or something. So I talked to her. We start talking about everybody working and doing their job and how long you've been doing this. I'm like, oh, I just pulled up from Sacramento, not even planning any of this. It was really quick and fast, and I'm in love with this. Like this fast life, you got to keep up with it, you got to want it, and you got to be in it. So long story, keep your shit together. Long story short, she's like, yeah, I've been in it for about 30 years. I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on. 30 years? What are you doing sitting at a table with me? I'm only getting you like $60 for this. I'm shacked up, can't pay rent, trying to make it or break it. So I didn't say all this. I'm thinking in my head like, oh, interesting. 30 years. This is cool. I'm rubbing shoulders with some real movie stars. So her whole deal was, this is how a lot of people did in LA. Whether you survive your whole life, because I know there's been protests with SAG after people can't find work, things are getting turned upside down. I think I even have some money still locked up for some production royalties that I haven't even looked into. I can't wait. But that's not the whole deal with this money. The whole deal is the action, the passion, and what you wanna even do. What are your 2 cents that you're putting into? I finally found LA, right? So this is where it gets cool. This lady, she saw a commercial that paid her, I think it was like $25,000 back then. She able to get serious with this business, and now her pay rate was, she got up to, everybody's different on different scales, from what I understand. But the same scene that I was shooting that I got $70, she said something wild because I think she was doing a little extra work on the side too. But at least $400 for that one day. We came back a few days. They wanted me to come back and do a. That's where my after came in. I was doing Vampire Diaries. They were doing a stripper scene. A lady comes in, a girl comes in stripping. Her mom or grandma is trying to stop her and saying, "What are you doing in this bar scene?" I don't remember what season this was, but I was the guy sitting in a big lounge chair that they had. I think they had me dressed up looking like, I don't know, bad guy. But that was actually the one of the last gigs, last scenes that I've done right before so my car gets towed out here in LA. And when I say get towed, uh, there was miscommunications. Got out of the tow yard with my uncle. He had to come back from Sacramento to even help me get all this stuff figured out. We drive back home, Sac. This is March, April of May, 2012 now. I just have this massive 9 month LA career from 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 jumping into a car for an interview that you didn't get to a job you take that you're not gonna pay the next day to connecting some dots to this whole world entertainment LA. I have so much love for this beautiful program that you guys all put in. I'm sorry. Bottom line, if health is wealth and I can really push through this head pain, mental pain, it's until I have a drink, this stuff I couldn't wake up all day. It's sick. Numbing, pressure, numbness on my whole face. My eye feels like it's just about to pop out. The chin's all hurting, the neck's getting a little more numb, and the heart's starting to feel some shit. So it's weird. I don't know what's going on. I've been complaining for like 10 years. And they've done scans, they've done blood works, this and that. I've had head trauma in my life, so that's a big one, you know. But tell me if I've got something that I gotta look out for or watch or what's the next plan? I'm sitting here like a sitting duck trying to make some moves and I can't even get out anywhere. I really can't even take care of my garden right now. That's how much pain I'm in. I'm lucky this is numbing things up and I can finally understand my story. Because I've been wanting to write it. And nothing like a videography. Imagine how fast right now I'm typing. That's the cool part. So back to the story, back to LA. I come back home. Car got towed. Uncle helps me bring it back. Sacktown. My tail light was out on the right side. It wasn't giving me a turn signal. And some kind of, it wasn't my hire, but somebody hired a mechanic, some dude, Russian dude, to fix it. The battery in the Cobalt sits in the back of the trunk, not in the front of the engine. And the car was not wired correctly for the turn light on the right side. I'm heading back to LA that day, the next day. Car's supposed to be done. I'm literally pulling around the corner from my mommy's house, turning the corner. Smoke starts coming. I'm like, what the fudge is going on? 10 seconds later, the whole damn back is freaking on fire, flaming. I'm like, ah! So I hop out the car, hit up 911, sheriff's put it out. I have no vehicle to even go back to LA. I just got my after voucher that I gotta pay $2,500 for. Every job now I get $400 minimum. Minimum instead of 70. I was booking at least 1 gig a week. I was doing 2 to 3. Little stuff. It could be anything. I was clapping in the audience. Few of the main little reality show that sitcom shows they have, kind of like Jerry, Oprah. They hire 500 of us to come in, and it's not a full day pay, so it's not gonna be like an $80 day, but it's like $40. You sit there in an audience, you connect with people, and you clap. I met the coolest old dude that told me about Harp Weather, 2011, in an audience stand. He like gave me a little card too. He's like, check out Harp Weather. I'm like, Harp Weather? Yeah, he's like, they're creating clouds now. Like, what? Little things like that LA is so cool about. It's like you connect the dots. So, I come back to Sac, car burns down, and I'm gonna keep this story going. I'm in the zone. 24 minutes. Wow, I did a lot of information in 24 minutes. It's not a lot of time. So check this out. Uh, this is where it gets cool because I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer now. I was an insurance agent in my part one that you understood. Basketball player, insurance agent. Uh, Vision wanted to carry my dad's my dad's trophy. You know, my dad was the agent. My dad created a couple businesses. He passed away. He left something behind for me to pass high school. Run it like God have mercy on your behinds. So, story. I have this house. I finally am stable enough to finally move in here. This is 2012. Come back from LA. Uh, Cannabis, marijuana, was just now picking up. And I wasn't sure about the next step. And it was more of a therapy. It wasn't like I had a plan that I wanted to grow pot and make a big business or my own genetics or create this front back garden, plant these trees, bring in 20 truckloads at 20 yards a truck, wood chips, raising my foundation 4 or 5 feet easy in the back to the front, loading up pots that are 50-gallon talls that you can't even get right now because of tariffs and everything going on that I've picked up last year. The propagation that I'm doing with the grapevines right now, my figs, fruits, trees, the grafting, the new genetics that are coming out now with our local nurseries. The whole farming technology, because of technology, concentrations, plant foods, what we're knowing now, and what we're innovating, what we're creating. I'm working on a flying garden. Simpson Sky is a flying car that this brother, sir, is looking for like 75 million. And it caught my attention. It's like, you got to put your passion into something and keep pushing. Long story short, uh, I really found love for plants through cannabis. Something that was illegal, something that we've had loopholes since 1996, specifically California. And the only way that loophole even was created was people that are going through cancer, literally, and that can feel the big help difference, whether it releases the pain or whether it was actually healing you. That's beyond mental, beyond physical sativa, keeping you moving. Right. So marijuana has always been downgraded when we finally, as a human, had to freaking die, till we finally had our foot in the door to finally have some kind of license that we inched into, whether you really have a doctor's note or whether you paid for a doctor's note. That was the only way you could get your prop. And then there was different styles. You just regular basic 6 plants, 12 plants. You can't grow outside. You gotta be inside. You gotta this and that. You can't sell it, but you can smoke it. But then the dispensaries down the street under Key took it and gave you some cash under the side that you can't put in the bank. And there's no fucking system to this cannabis that is apparently needed beyond the fuel that I feel like green waste can project. Oil being so tough and strong compared to corn, green fuel. So there's a lot going on right now that makes no sense. Our own little Holocaust cannabis, what do you call cannabis? Holocaust communism. Keep people down. Don't succeed. Or at least be happy, stable. Unless you're pushing through and beating somebody up somehow, one way or another, that's the only way to get through. And that's the sick part. So, sweating my back. Move this. Cannabis. The story of where I came in, and before Hollywood, it was before LA. It was actually during my insurance days. It was actually 2010 when I bought my first clone. It was Marconi right here. Excuse me, Marconi and like How. Cool little like everybody knows a pot shop, but you couldn't tell it's part of a house right off the main road and everything. So finally got my script, pull up, and just to get some weed during my insurance days, and I saw some clones. Picked one up. The moment I was at my mom's house, so I bring it in the garage, set it up, and it started smelling a little bit. Had to get it out. Mom got mad. She didn't even know about it. This is 2010. 2012, I come back from LA, right? What do I have? I had a piece of hair in my gums. So, cannabis world. I come back 2012 from LA. Car burns down from a bad light connection to the tail light, and it started on fire somehow on accident, right? Everything's on accident. I move into my house completely and get more stable, and I find therapy in plants. Decided to pick up on the marijuana. I have my licenses. Might as well just keep it going. Got to pay your permits. This is 2012, March. 2016 is 4 years away. 4 years is a long time, especially with a program that wasn't there, right? So as a farmer, 2012 with a Prop 215. 215 is where you had to be a patient, you had to have your script from a doctor. You can grow really only 6 plants, flowering, 12 veg, and then some could only have their 99 plant license. That's what I've had. That's why I was able to work with so many plants. Never sold, never made any money, but I wanted to get into this business commercially, so I had all the best stuff I could get. With as much as I'm only on like disability, the insurance business that I have only got me this house, so I didn't have much cash flow. The LA, I was waiting for my, Hollywood paycheck to really jump things off, but we work with what we got. So I'm in Sacramento. Cannabis 2012 is just getting their bearings going because it was just getting more accepted. And I think a lot of it had to do with the house crisis and the government becoming unstable. It started since then. So 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16 comes around and finally goes legal commercially, but they made the layout where everybody with 212 or 215, you can't grow. You can grow for yourself, do whatever you want, but you cannot sell. You cannot make money off this. On a private level, 215 got completely X'd off. When it was the other way around, 215 was the ones that were trying to push this flower without getting caught and getting by and having you have your medications. Now they're getting all shut out when they can't wait to pay their taxes. They can't wait to build a warehouse. They can't wait to make this money, cash flow. They've been fighting this war. These are all vets, 30 to 45-year-olds, years into this business, right? Sitting in the city hall meetings, 2016, Devlin, the leader of the clan, of the Sacramento at least cannabis world of what's supposed to be allowed, what's not supposed to be allowed. They had rules planted out. They had lines for applications. You had to jump hoops with all the government, fire department, police department, local taxes. You can't work with businesses or banks, excuse me, you can't work with banks, but we're building this massive multi-million-dollar platform with this cannabis resource flower that a lot of people need help and support with, that we don't even have a fucking banking system. That's what makes no sense. What are y'all really waiting for? Whether it's a sitting ducks or one's running the fucking ducks. So I'm not gonna get frustrated. Back to 2016. I'm sitting in city hall meetings listening to this council, Devlin, which was like the cannabis president. And I can't believe what I'm hearing. People, it took them a year to even get approved for the licenses, that they had to pay rent for to even have that warehouse. They had to buy all the equipment to have everything set up for the people to come in and say, hey, this is good, this looks right, this is perfect. And every department had their own different times. And by that time, all the dots connected for these beautiful 75, 80-year-old farmers, some are younger, they're out of money to keep going. The dispensaries back then weren't even really started. There was no place to even sell. So everything was backwards. This is where the story is sick. Because it's only digging deeper with every other niche. That's why I'm not giving up on this marijuana. Farming's one thing. You want to grow your own food. You want to be healthy. I believe in all natural foods that we're now creating for the plants with technology. That's a big one. Concentration is getting very clean. There's a lot to plants, especially with like breeding, grafting, creating, that sky's the limit. If you're like a wannabe scientist like me, if you're creative, you like to you get into niches, if you like to investigate, create this farming is therapy. But you gotta succeed, you gotta make money in it, you gotta get what I'm saying? Yeah, I might enjoy buying my nice multi-million dollar car and having it on the lot, but I gotta be moving 100 cars a month to even afford that couple $1 million car. You get what I'm going with that? I want fruit trees that you can't buy on this earth, imported from all over this earth, farmed on a drip system perfectly created for this garden, and then sky's the limit with the medium. The medium that we're creating now, it's not. It might not be organic, but it's not bad. It's really cool how we're learning how to really work with the roots and the upper plants that the plant tissues. So with all that running around, doing this farming, cannabis sparking it, starting it, cannabis was really a beautiful platform to learn off as well because it grows like a tree, a fruit tree. In a year, you'll get what an oak tree will give you in like 8 years, 7 years. It's literally natural. And then the tissue, it's 4 times lighter than the oak tree. So you got lighter tissue. I think it's even stronger than oak tree because it's more of it's like a strand. Oak tree will snap on you. Hemp is more like a rubber band. And again, you got a year of production material, and then you got 8 year oak tree that you're waiting to. Anyways, so uh, the material is definitely the big fun part about cannabis because it taught me how plants will bounce back, how plants will accept food when you spray it. Further feeding is so much more powerful than feeding it down low. I don't mean that disrespectfully, because once you give it to the down low, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna work there. You got microactivity. That's very important. But the foiler feeding, when you feed it down low, you're gonna get a blow up. But once you feed it down low, with it getting sprayed and saying, "Hey, I want to eat more," you're gonna like 5 times it. I mean, spraying plants is key to let's say an air garden. If you're gonna have a flying garden or something that works off air, creating water, but you're not getting a river. You're getting a mists, and all you gotta do is feed it with some really high organic concentrates. Alrighty, love you all. Thank you for watching. This is the story. I think it's a part 4, if I'm not wrong. And this is the Hollywood side to the cannabis side that pretty much hits my main story before I get into like weird details. The money going missing in the insurance business that even put me in this depressing state. Hiring all the employees uh, during the worst time in the economy that was nobody's fault. We're all losing jobs. We're all trying to eat and survival mode. Love you all. Stay blessed. Stay focused. And live, love, laugh.